What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of You for Rurouni Kenshin. This is episode 39, and with me, as always, I have Bluespade.
Yeah. Um, well, this entire episode, it mainly focuses on Kenshin and his master Hiko.
Yeah,
Um,
so I was saying we didn't get any of that last week, or really, I think the last couple episodes we didn't really get anything with Kenshin.
yeah.
But in this episode, it's really just it's all about Kenshin,
hmm
Kenshin and his master, because we didn't really. I mean, we know who his master is, but we don't really know a lot about their history together, and we kind of get some of that in this episode too.
Yeah. At the beginning of this episode, we do see how like Kenshin came into contact with his master, or with his soon to be master, is because he was taking out like a lot of bandits or slave traders near Kenshin's village. Well, at the time, like that wasn't his real name. Kenshin's actual real name, I think his name is
Shin,
uh
wasn't it like Shin or
Shinta, yeah,
Shinta?
Shinta. Um, so like he ends up killing all these bandits, and of course, Shinta is like the only kid who survived, and Hiko just tells him like get over to the next village and they'll take care of you. But of course, what happens is that Shinta decides to lay a burial ground for all the bandits that Hiko killed, as well as I think he says like three of of his caretakers. Um, so like
Well,
after
at first he just leaves him there. With like he leaves him there, and then like he comes back later. Well, he leaves him there, but he tells him to go down the mountain and try to find refuge there. Um, but then he comes back to see that that Shinta is still there and that he's buried all the bandits and as well his family members as well as the bandits.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, I mean, well, Shinta mentions that his parents died from an illness, I think a year or two prior. So he only had like I guess like several guardian figures looking after him before they were killed by the bandits. Um, this of course motivates Hiko to take him in as his student and decides to rename him Kenshin. So of course, we already know the whole history of Kenshin becoming the Batosai and something like that. Uh, but this episode, of course, mainly focuses on Kenshin training with his master to I guess to learn the new Hiten Mitsurugi Ryu technique. So
that and then another sword technique too.
yeah, so he go tells Kenshin that he needs to lay a blow on him, and otherwise he won't be able to teach him the new move. So Kenshin decides to just straight up charge right at him, and then just somehow land a blow on him, uh, without considering the fact that he's gonna land on the ground, getting a concussion or something like that. But somehow manages to land a blow on Hiko somehow, and decides to teach him like this new technique. Uh, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of what Hiko was describing. It's
It's like
it
nine different like sword thrusts, I guess, done at the same time.
yeah, it's basically just you're getting hit by nine different directions. In a way it's unavoidable if you're inexperienced in trying to counter this move. So he tells Kenshin to try to perform this move even after seeing it once. So Kenshin in a way does like somewhat perform this move, but he doesn't do it perfectly, obviously, in the first try. So he goes able to easily counter it with his own version, and of course this gets to this continues in which Hiko starts reminiscing of his days in which he was mentoring Kenshin when he was young, and then Kenshin continues to training overnight. Well, just mainly just chopping wood with his Sakamoto all
Well,
night.
he tells Kenshin that one of the things he has to do is to consider was it consider what it is that he wants or something like that, or what he's like almost like what he's fighting for, I guess.
Mm.
And Kenshin, like, even though after he spent like the whole night without getting any sleep, like, I mean, obviously that was like the joke in the next days. Both of them hadn't gotten any sleep. But Kenshin says that he still hasn't come. He still doesn't know, like, what exactly. Was I guess his main motivation or something like that. He's unsure of that. But by then it's pretty much too late because it's his master is planning to perform the move anyway. So pretty much as he's like right as he's charging towards him, supposedly like prepared to kill him, it seems. If Kenshin does not master this technique, Kenshin, while this is happening, has like flashes of the people that I guess he's met, like Kaoru and his other friends. And that seems to give him, I guess, the inspiration or the motivation to, to continue forward, to keep going. So he ends up just with that, countering his master's attack with the new move that he was taught. And we don't see till later, but yeah, he manages to land a blow on him with, I guess because it was with the Sakamoto. Instead of like really like, I guess if it was like a normal katana, it probably would have like cut him in half, but instead it seems to have left this like mark across his body.
Yeah, like some kind of gigantic bruise that just appears out of nowhere.
But also another thing we should mention is that his master reveals that the clothes that he was wearing was like kind of, in a way, like I guess somewhat hindering him or holding him back from reaching his full potential.
They were like weight clothing.
They were weighted down.
Yeah,
because like he's like when he takes off his clothes or his shirt, at least like he has this like ridiculous like hulking body, and he uses, I guess, the full force of his body and his unrestrained power to like go at Kenshin.
Yeah. So I mean, eventually, like we mentioned, with just a sheer will to live, like Kenshin does manage to land a blow on him. So Hiko congratulates Kenshin, and I guess in a way perfecting that move with, I guess he's basically just pushing him into this position, and I guess he acknowledges his student. With his newfound abilities, and will let him fight Shishio, without any worry, about his safety. But of course, what happens with Hiko, it's unknown whether or not this move will end up permanently crippling him. That's what it looks like from.
It seemed like the way he was talking, like it probably will. I'm guessing because he was saying something about like this is always how it's been. Like the servant has to surpass the master, and the master can't keep going, something like that. So, but my only issue with this, like Kenshin knowing this technique is just the amount of time that he learns this like really complicated technique, and he pretty much he's really had no training with it either. Like he's just shown it once, and then he's supposed to like memorize all of it and do it perfectly, like almost like that one time. And the only like, I guess you would say practice he does is that like during the night, he's just chopping logs in half with the other side of the Sakamoto, with the sharp end of the Sakamoto. Which I don't know how that's really going to like, really teach him how to do it. But yeah, I just found that kind of ridiculous, to be honest. Is just the amount of time that he's able to master this in, and that he just does it. He does it perfectly. I guess just, the explanation would be that he was going to die if he didn't do it. He did not do it right.
Yeah. It's just like, well, he's trained under his master for years and years ago. And he obviously knows his teaching technique, and I think one of the moves, it was like, I guess, a perfected, so to speak, version of the Hiten Mitsurugi Ryo, and then the other one was like I'm guessing it was a completely new technique that he hasn't done before. Yeah.
So I really like, I guess I have more so an issue with that, just the fact that he was able to learn that one so quick, considering he's never really done. I'm guessing he's never really done anything like that before.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like he was he was intentionally rushed to learn this technique.
Yeah.
Um, for yeah, I guess for various reasons. But I mean, well, obviously, like I said, like Shin knows like his master's teaching style. I mean, he's not like a typical like master in which like they'll give you like several weeks or months of time to perfect the technique. Like he's
Well, and I
just
think the
basically
other reason why
developing it.
he didn't have that time either was because of what's going on with Shishio and what his plans are.
Yeah.
Um,
So obviously, like I guess obviously Hiko wanted to motivate Kenshin to get this done as quickly as possible, and I guess somehow, some way he manages to push Kenshin to to somehow perfectly execute this maneuver just by sheer willpower.
yeah. But yeah, I thought it was a decent episode. I like the stuff that we got with like the flashback sequences with his master, or with Kenshin and his master. Um, and I mean, other than that, yeah, it was just showing that Kenshin needed to master this technique if he was going to be able to go against Shishio and his, and his, I guess his group. Um, but I thought it was okay. I was honestly a little bit more interested in the flashback stuff than just the I guess supposedly the supposed training that he was putting Kenshin through.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, the training stuff just like went by a lot faster than it did with us learning a little bit more about like Kenshin's backstory when Hiko found him when he was a child.
yeah,
But yeah, but overall, yeah, it was a pretty good episode. It definitely, I think, like it was the right choice for them to put more focus on Kenshin and Hiko in this entire episode in comparison to all the previous episodes, which were more focused on what was going on with Aoshi wanting to get revenge on Kenshin. In the process, he was hurting his old found family.
yeah. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say about the episode, though. I don't know if you have anything else to say about it.
Yeah, definitely good. A lot of good progress with what's going on with Kenshin. We'll have to see what's going to happen in the next episode. I think the next episode's called the Ten Swords Summon, so we'll get a little bit more what's going on with Shishio's group and what they're going to be planning next.
Yeah, it sounds like it. But yeah, that all being said, guys, until next time, we will see you all later.